Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I've been serving on boards of various nonprofit organizations for over 25 years. I've held many positions on these boards, including president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and various other positions. I'd like to share with you some of the things I've learned about parliamentary procedures. The first thing to know is that each institution has its own flavor. It may be more or less formal, and how closely it follows the rules. But it is good to know the ideal, often called Robert's Rules of Order, for how things should run in an ideal setting. Following Robert's Rules of Order ensures that meetings are fair, efficient, democratic, and orderly. The official Robert's Rules of Order is now over 700 pages long, so I will certainly be leaving out plenty of details. But I would like to share some of the key things I learned. The biggest surprise to me was that an exact vote count is not important. As someone who likes to know the facts, I thought that getting an exact count would usually be needed, but I was wrong. The minutes of a meeting should only indicate if a vote passed or not, and not list the vote count. Because the actual count is not important, this is why it can be done by people just saying yay or nay at the appropriate time. If it is obvious to everyone present that one side clearly has more, that is the end of the matter. This can speed things up without wasting time for needless counting. If the vote is close, that would then call for a more exact count, which could be done by a show of hands, standing up, etc. Let's saunter over some jargon. A motion is a proposal to make an official change. Most motions are discussed or debated and then voted on. When someone makes a motion, they say, "I move that such and such." A call for the question is a request to vote on the motion. Most motions require a simple majority to pass or be carried, that is, to become official. A simple majority means more people agree, even if just one more. If it is a tie or less than half, it does not pass. A motion, and many other things, require a second. This is an additional person that agrees. They could say, "I second the motion." This allows reasonable things to be suggested without allowing alone members to sidetrack the meeting. If someone makes a motion and no one seconds it, that is the end of the discussion. No one else even cares enough to discuss it. The chairman is the person with the responsibility to run the meeting and does not need to be the president. The chairman is not usually an elected position, but is the title given to the person in charge of running a particular meeting, so it can change from meeting to meeting. Our Toastmaster of the day is similar in concept. It changes from meeting to meeting, and they prepare the agenda, run the meeting, and call on people to speak. While this does not need to be the president, in most organizations it usually is the president. During a meeting, people should not speak until called on by the chairman. This leads me to my second big surprise. The chairman usually does not vote. The chairman should appear to be impartial and not favor one side, allowing arguments to be presented for both sides. When the vote is clearly in favor of one side, their one vote would not make a difference, and it is better to have them appear to be neutral. However, they are allowed to vote when it will change the outcome of the vote. That is, they do not need to keep the appearance of impartiality at the time of the vote when their vote will make a difference. This can work both ways. If a vote was tied, and the chairman may vote in favor to have the motion pass. Alternatively, if the motion had passed by a single vote, the chairman could vote against it, making it a tie, and then the motion would not pass. If the vote is being done anonymously, the chairman may vote because they can still appear to be impartial. At most points in a meeting, if the group is not already involved in another motion, a motion can be made by a member. When a motion is made, the motion needs a second. Once it is seconded, a motion is then considered until it is voted on. Otherwise, unrelated motions may not be made while one motion is being considered, with only a few exceptions. During the consideration, proposed changes to the motion are allowed, and these are called amendments. A friendly amendment is an unofficial term for a proposed change that both the person making the motion and the second both agree with. These are usually for obvious things that the proposer would have added if they had thought about it. Friendly amendments are not officially recognized by Robert's Rules of Order, but most organizations will allow them if both the proposer and the second agree with it to save time. If it is not agreed by the proposer and the second, then the amendment itself needs a second and is then considered, discussed, and eventually voted on. My third surprise is that there are a few times when it is acceptable to interrupt the speaker, even without permission from the chairman. These should be used judiciously, but two of them are point of order, to draw attention to a breach of the rules, and a point of information, to request more information on a motion. For example, you might say, "Point of order, we are discussing this motion, but it has not been seconded." Or, "Point of information, how much money is in the budget to cover this proposal?" Robert's Rules of Order allow everyone a chance to be heard and still follow the will of the majority. When everyone knows and follows the rules, it can result in efficient, fair, orderly, and democratic meetings. Toastmaster of the Day.